the automated follow-up sequence that turns one-time patients into lifetime patients. Imagine two dental clinics, same city, same quality of care, same equipment, same friendly staff. On the surface, they look identical, but 5 years from now, their results are completely different. Clinic A treats a patient. The patient pays, leaves the clinic, and that's where the relationship ends. No follow-up, no check-in, no reminder, no communication, nothing. 6 months later, that patient barely remembers the clinic exists. Now, look at Clinic B. The patient receives a thoughtful check-in the next day, a helpful tip the following week, a progress update a few weeks later, a reminder exactly when they're due for their next appointment. The care inside the treatment room was exactly the same, but the experience after the appointment was completely different. And that's why 5 years later, Clinic B still has that patient. Not only that, when they also have the patient's spouse, their children, their friends, and the referrals that came along with them. The difference wasn't better dentistry. The difference wasn't more advertising. The difference was a follow-up sequence, a simple system, quietly running in the background, strengthening relationships, building trust, and turning one-time visitors into lifetime patients. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how that sequence works, message by message, step by step, so you can build the same system inside your own clinic. Before we break down the sequence, let's talk about why it works. Because understanding the psychology behind it changes everything. Most dental visits carry some level of emotion. For some patients, it's anxiety. For others, it's relief. Sometimes it's excitement after cosmetic treatment. Sometimes it's simply gratitude. But regardless of the emotion, something interesting happens. Once the appointment is over, the emotional connection starts fading. Fast. Within a day or two, the patient has mentally moved on. They're back to work, back to family, back to daily life. And if nothing happens after that appointment, the relationship effectively ends the moment they walk out the door. Not because they disliked your clinic, not because they don't trust you, simply because life moved on. But something powerful happens when a message arrives. Even a simple message, a short message, a human message. That message extends the relationship beyond the appointment. It tells the patient, we remember you. We care about you. We didn't forget about you. And that feeling, even if it's subtle, is what creates loyalty. Because loyalty isn't built during treatment. Loyalty is built in the days and weeks that follow. Now, let's break down the sequence. Message number 1, the same day or next day check-in. This is the most important message in the entire sequence, and it's also the easiest one to implement. Within 24 hours of the appointment, the patient receives a simple message, something like, "Hi Sarah, thank you for visiting us yesterday. We hope you're feeling comfortable. If you have any questions at all, we're always here to help." That's it. No sales pitch, no offer, no request, just genuine care. Its purpose isn't to generate revenue, its purpose is to build trust. And patients remember it, even if they never reply, because almost nobody expects a clinic to check in after the appointment. When it happens, it stands out immediately. Message number 2, the value message. This arrives approximately 1 week later. And this is where most clinics make a mistake. Most businesses immediately start asking for something, a review, a referral, another booking, but that's not what we're doing here. We're giving value first. For example, if the patient had a cleaning, send oral hygiene advice. If they had a filling, send aftercare recommendations. If they had cosmetic treatment, share maintenance tips. The goal is simple, help the patient without asking for anything in return. And something fascinating happens when you do this consistently. The patient stops seeing you as just another dental clinic. They begin seeing you as their dentist, someone they trust, someone who provides value, someone worth returning to. Trust grows, authority grows, the relationship grows, and all of it happens automatically. Message number 3, the progress or milestone message. This is where the relationship starts becoming personal. For orthodontic patients, you might say, "You're halfway through treatment. Here's what you can expect next." For implant patients, you might send an update explaining the next stage of recovery. For general treatment patients, you might simply check in. It's been a couple of weeks, just wanted to see how everything is feeling. Simple, human, personal. The message itself isn't the magic. The timing is, because it reminds patients that their journey didn't end when they left the clinic. The relationship is still active. The clinic still cares, and that creates an experience most patients rarely receive. Message number 4, the review request. This is where many clinics get it wrong. They ask too early, the patient leaves the clinic, and 5 minutes later receives a review request. It feels transactional, it feels rushed, and sometimes it feels desperate. Instead, wait until the relationship has been strengthened, after the check-in, after the value message, after the progress message. Now the patient feels genuinely connected. Now the request feels natural. Something simple works best. We'd really appreciate it if you shared your experience. It helps other people in our community find quality dental care. No pressure, no manipulation, just a genuine request. And because trust already exists, response rates increase dramatically. Message number 5, the recall reminder. This might be the most profitable message in the entire sequence because this is the message that brings patients back. 3 months later, 6 months later, whenever the next appointment is due, the patient receives a reminder. Simple, friendly, and timely. Hi Sarah, it's about time for your next checkup. Here's a quick link to book your appointment. That's it. One message, one reminder, one booking link. Yet this single touch point is often the difference between a patient returning and a patient disappearing forever. Now, let's talk about what makes this truly powerful. Automation. Because doing all of this manually isn't realistic. Think about it. Tracking every patient, remembering appointment dates, sending personalized messages, following different treatment paths, managing reminders, requesting reviews, monitoring timelines. No busy clinic has the time to do that consistently. And consistency is everything. That's why automation changes the game. The sequence is built once, the timing is set once, and then the system takes over. Every patient automatically enters the appropriate sequence. Cleaning patients follow one path, filling patients follow another. Orthodontic patients follow a longer milestone-based journey, and the entire process runs without your team lifting a finger. Every patient receives the right message at the right time, every single time. Now think about what that does to patient lifetime value. A patient who never hears from you again is worth whatever they spent during that one appointment. That's it. End of story. But a patient who experiences this sequence, they come back for checkups. They trust your recommendations. They say yes more often to treatment plans. They leave reviews. They refer friends. They become loyal. And loyalty compounds over years, not weeks. That's the difference between a clinic constantly chasing new patients and a clinic steadily growing from the patients it already has. One sequence, 5 messages, running automatically, patient after patient, year after year. That's how sustainable growth is built. This is exactly the type of workflow Go High Level was designed for. You create the sequence once, build the check-in, add the value message, add the milestone touchpoint, include the review request, add the recall reminder, set the timing, connect it to your patient records. And from that point forward, every patient automatically enters the correct journey based on their treatment type. Because messages can be delivered through SMS and other communication channels patients already check constantly. Engagement rates are significantly higher than relying on email alone. And everything happens automatically, behind the scenes, without adding more work to your team. Before you build your sequence, there's one final rule you need to remember. Tone matters a lot. Every message should sound like it came from a person, not a corporation, not a marketing department, not a robot. Use the patient's first name. Write naturally. Write the way you would actually speak, because the moment a message feels generic, it loses its power. The moment it feels automated, it stops feeling personal. And that difference determines whether the message builds loyalty or gets ignored. Now here's your action plan. Start with message number 1, the next day check-in. Implement that first. By itself, it can completely change how patients perceive your clinic. Then add the recall reminder, because that's the message with the biggest direct impact on patient retention. Once those two are working, add the value message, then the milestone message, then the review request. Build it one layer at a time. Even a simple version of this sequence is dramatically better than having no sequence at all. And once it's running consistently, you'll start seeing the difference, not just in appointments, not just in reviews, but in relationships. And relationships are what create long-term growth. If this video showed you how a few simple automated messages can completely transform patient loyalty, hit the like button. Subscribe for more dental growth and automation strategies every week. And tell me in the comments, out of these 5 messages, which one is your clinic missing right now? I'd genuinely love to know. Thank you for watching. Build the sequence once and let it work for you. Patient after patient, month after month, year after year.